Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching the group flight instructional video. So throughout this video, we're really hoping to walk you through some key steps and key forms that you will need to complete in order to be considered part of the group flight process for this upcoming academic year. And just a reminder, this video is for all of our Global First Year Program students, so this will include the NUN Global Scholars and London Scholars cohorts. So we will get started and move on to step one of the process. So step one will be your NU group flight opt-in questionnaire form. So this is your first form that you will be receiving towards the end of May via email. And on the left here, you will see a lot of information that will differentiate between what it means to be a group flyer and then what it means to be an individual flyer. And then on the right here is the form portion where you will be giving us some short personal information like your Northeastern email address and your NUID, and then completing this key question on the bottom that says, will you join a group flight or manage your own individual flight? So you will want to decide this by reading through all of this information on the left and really picking the option that you think will be best for you. So we're going to dive right in and look at this form a little bit more closely and go through it. So here's a better look at the form up close. And just a reminder, this is a generic NUN form, and all of the forms across all three of our programs, NUN Global Scholars and London Scholars, will have extremely similar information, if not exactly the same. There might just be a few tweaks in terms of deadlines or minor pieces of information. So on the left here, you'll have the deadline for our form at the top, and then we jump right in to look at what it means to be a part of our group flight process. So if you're on a group flight, you will travel with your peers to and from your site at the beginning and end of the program. By completing the group flight process, you are opting into being a group flight participant and committing to a ticket to your site and departing your site at the end of your program. So this is really important. If you don't think you'll be able to commit to both tickets, you should consider opting in to the individual flight. So for example, if you have some travel planned with your family shortly after the end date of your program, and you're thinking, oh, I might not be able to commit to the ticket home with everyone else, then the individual flyer option might be the best for you. But jumping back in, if you indicate in the questionnaire that you intend to take the group flight, you will be sent an automated email from Smartsheet via Northeastern with a link to an informational flight letter for your site that includes instructions on how to complete your flight registration with Advantage Travel. So this is involving a second form, and then all of these steps I will dive deeper into a little bit later in the presentation, but this deadline here will be for that second form with Advantage Travel to solidify your spot. And in red here is just a reminder that both forms need to be completed in order for you to be considered a group flight participant. So jumping into a little bit about being an individual flyer, this is when you will manage and pay for your own flight arrangements to and from your site. So our office will be reaching out to you later this summer to collect flight arrival and departure information. And then another super key note down here, a group flight round trip ticket is included in your program fees. So all students who opt out of the group flight and fly individually will be receiving a credit for the average cost of a group flight to their site back onto your Northeastern account towards the middle of your first semester in your program. And then a little bit further down, you will have your site listed and all of the airport hubs that we will have group flights flying out of for your program. So this is just another reminder. This is just NUN, but it will be the same for Global Scholars and London Scholars. It will show the departing airport options. And then over here on the right, you'll just enter in all of your personal information and then answer this question here that says, will you join a group flight or manage your own individual flight? So you'll have the drop down here and select whichever one you prefer. And then there's an option to send a copy of your responses to yourself. So select that if you need, and then you press submit. And now we're going to move on to step two. So step two in our process will be when you receive your follow-up email from Advantage Travel. So this is the one that I did as an example for London Scholars. It says you are receiving this email because you indicated plans to participate in a London Scholars group flight managed by Advantage Travel. And then it gives you some registration instructions for Advantage and the deadline for the next registration form that you'll have to complete with them. And then this Google Drive link down below will be the link to the Advantage Travel flight letter, which is also super important. It will have the link to the next form on it, as well as a lot of key travel information that you will need to read through. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that flight letter now. So step 3 is your Advantage Travel flight letter, which you will access with that link in the email that I was just discussing. But here's just a quick look at it. It will have your program information at the top, as well as the travel dates. And we'll go ahead and look through it now a little bit closer. So here is our example travel letter. So it will have some Advantage contact information at the top here. And then if you scroll down, it will have your official group flights listed. And keep in mind, some of our programs, the group flight information doesn't come out until a little bit later in the summer. So your group flight letter might not have this, but if not, it will have the airport information that was listed on our first form that we discussed. And then if you go further down, it has some terms and conditions with Advantage Travel. So these points talk about your ticket and some baggage information. So you make sure you want to read through this because that's super important. And then the key piece is this little box right here. So it has submit your reservation request. And this is actually a hyperlink to the second form that you'll have to fill out with Advantage. So be sure to pay attention to this. This is where you'll access your final step in the registration for the group flight process. So we will go through now and look at Advantage's registration form a little bit more closely. So step 4 of the process will be your Advantage Travel flight registration form, which you will access through the group flight letter that we discussed in the previous step. So here's a screenshot of the form. On the left here, it has some information from Advantage Travel, such as information release timelines. And then over here, it will have some information that you'll have to put in, including passport information, and then you will be able to select which airport you want to depart from for your program. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that form a little bit closer. So as I was saying, on the left here, there's some information from Advantage, really discussing when your itineraries will be emailed to you, and then some more contact information down here. And then on the right, you'll be able to select your program in a drop-down menu, and then you'll be able to pick from these checkboxes which departure city you would prefer. And then here, if you don't live near one of our departure cities, you'll have the option of working with Advantage to book a connecting flight to that city if you still want to participate in our group flight process with other students. So you'll enter your information here for that process, and then go further down and enter some more information like your phone number, emergency contact information, and travel insurance, and then some passport information here. And then you select submit form, and we will move on to the next step. Awesome. Now this is our final step in the process. Once you submit the form that we were just going over, you get an automated email that says, success, you are now a group flight participant and Northeastern University will be advised. So awesome, you have completed that whole process, and we're just gonna walk through a couple of reminders in terms of next steps after completion. So students that have their flight showing on their flight letters will start receiving their official flight confirmations starting the week of June 3rd, which is the following week after our latest registration deadline with Advantage. So once the form closes, then Advantage will go through everyone that submitted it and start emailing official confirmations the following week. So for Greece and Dublin, where you will not see specific flight times listed out on the flight letter, flight confirmations will be coming out at a later date once we get that information. And then for students who need flight information for visa appointments, acknowledgement emails will be forthcoming after the form deadlines. And then just a reminder, a little bit further down the road, final e-ticket confirmations are sent closer to departure. So this is ideally around the beginning of August, but around 3 weeks before your start date for your program. And then lastly, students should be on the lookout for emails from Travel International Advantage, which is TIA@advantagecny.com, and Patty Luke, pluke@advantagecny.com. Those are your two main contacts for Advantage Travel. And as we get further into the process, individual agents may be reaching out as well. And then, yeah, thank you for listening to this presentation. If you have any questions about group flights, please feel free to contact our program emails, NUN, Global Scholars, and London Scholars at northeastern.edu, and someone will get back to you shortly. But thank you so much.